Welcome to the Sippin' on Stories podcast with me, Mandy, your host. I'm so delighted that you're here for another episode. Today we have a recurring guest. We have Michelle, who has actually been on already a couple of times. She told a story, episode number 5, I Refuse to Date My Husband, where she talked about like her love story with her husband and what that all entailed. And then she also actually was the one that interviewed me when I told my story about my time working in a prison. So if you haven't listened to either of those episodes, go ahead and do that. But when we recorded her first story, we actually recorded 2 at the same time. I was visiting her and she said she would tell both. So I have had this episode now just sitting and waiting for the time to go out. And I just figured now is the time. So she's back for another episode. This time she is going to be telling the story about the time she woke up and couldn't walk. Now, again, we recorded this way back in February before I even launched the podcast. So it has been quite some time. There are updates to her story that I will include after the actual interview is over. So go ahead and stay tuned. Listen for that. So grab your drink, get comfortable, and here's your story. So this is the second time, obviously, that Michelle will be on this podcast. So I have already asked this question to her literally like an hour ago. For me, and that was, please tell me your drink of choice, and it was
water.
Okay, but let's say you're feeling like, do you ever get like a lemonade or anything like that?
I honestly don't. I'm sorry. I wish that I could come up with like a fun drink to tell you.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
We're gonna have maybe some snippets from a previous episode that if you're interested in listening to, go back and listen to it. Let's do favorite ice cream.
Ice cream.
And that is something that you and I share from our history together.
Okay, so what's my favorite ice cream?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, this one is a little more tricky because my go-to is something that is chocolate with like ooey gooey chunks. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific kind, but I just want it to have salted caramel and brownies and
chunkies.
Yes, I want marshmallows. Ew, chunkies.
Not chunkies.
Marshmallows and pecans and like that kind of. That's what I like in ice cream. But that being said, you and I just last night got white chocolate raspberry, and it was so stellar.
It was, but I'm just gonna say.
Rocky Road is a good go-to.
It is a good, because you can find that pretty much most places.
Yeah, sometimes I really want something with like brownies and caramel and they don't have it, but they have Rocky Road and I like that.
Yeah.
Especially, okay, really fast, it's crucial that the marshmallows are marshmallows and not marshmallow cream. Yeah, I'm not into that.
I want like marshmallow cream, but yeah, with the Rocky Road.
Well, good for you, but... No, I need it to be like a marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandably so. And I would say I'm pretty similar. Give me an ice cream that has stuff in it.
Yeah, like, I need chunks.
Yes, a crunchy chunk, a caramely chunk, and chocolate ice cream itself. That's good. Okay.
All right. Boring with drinks, fun with ice cream.
That's exactly right. It's another thing that I will happily consume and would say, I don't want to say addicted to it, but I crave ice cream quite often. Okay, Michelle, so once again, let's go for it.
Okay. Ooh, this one's a hard story to tell maybe. I wonder how I'll feel telling this story. I feel like I'm going to feel fine.
But you don't know until
But I don't know. Like, one of my big goals with this whole situation has been to not carry it with me into the future and processing through it right now is really helpful. So, I mean, even if I do get shaky, like big surprise, like I'm still not even completely out of it yet. So it would be fine even if I did. So,
Okay.
Anyway, all right. Well, here we go. Health related story. I was, previous to this, I feel like the healthiest I've probably ever been as far as like fitness goes and like just how I manage food. And like I'm in a pretty healthy space, feeling pretty good about that. It was at the end of June, went to bed, business as usual, and woke up around 4 a.m. to feel like I felt like a sharp, intense pain in my left hip. And I kind of moved my body, and as soon as I kind of jerked my body and felt like, oh gosh, that hurt, I felt a strange sensation spread slowly down my left leg. It's so weird. Like it really did start at the top of my leg and slowly spread all the way down. Ugh, still thinking about it. It's so, it's so gross.
So it's like, I remember when you told me about it that day.
I know. And it's like, oh, this weird thing happened with my hip last night.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Now I'm like limping. But I do have a little history of having something happen with my body and being like laid up for a little while.
Specifically like your lower back.
Like lower back. Yeah. I have 2 discs that I've slipped regularly. There was a period of time that I was laid up for like 3 months. And after that, I have had it slip kind of reoccurring. So it felt like every few months I would kind of tweak my back to the point where like for 3 or 4 days, I was kind of like unable to live life in a normal manner, but I just kind of had to like ice and heat and ibuprofen and just wait it out. And then
not exercise for a couple of days.
It's so annoying, but you know, and it was always annoying, but I mean, it was like always a couple weeks, which felt so upsetting when it did happen. Now I'm like, oh my gosh. But my thought was, oh my, like when I felt the pain and the weird sensation spread down my leg, I did think like, ugh, I hope this isn't a thing. And when I thought that, I thought like a 2-week thing.
Yes.
Yes. Like something to throw me off. But it felt really strange, and I struggled a bit to sleep for the next couple hours. Like it just kind of was like aching. But when I got out of bed, I couldn't walk without limping. And it wasn't painful at the time, but I just couldn't not limp. And it was so strange to feel like, I remember telling myself, like, just walk, like, just do it normal. Like, what is going, like, I couldn't take a step without limping, and I couldn't walk very fast. Like, it just felt like I had to be slow, and I was kind of like, this is weird, but like, dang it, it's probably going to be weird for a few days, and I must have done something weird, and it's fine. But days are going by, and it's not fine. Like, it just wasn't getting better. I kind of lost the limp, but I couldn't walk quickly. I was walking really slow, and it just felt strange. But I was laying down a lot. And I don't know if I was laying, like looking back, I'm like, why was I laying down? Was it because it was painful? Because I feel like it wasn't painful. But I think
was it just you thinking that like you just had to lay down and rest it maybe?
No, but it did like ache. Like I would get to a point where I was like, I cannot stand up anymore. Like it is
like
hurting.
if you stood too long, it was like too much.
I went and saw a physical therapist maybe like just over a week. I was finally like, man, it's not improving. So I guess I'll check in with my physical therapist.
Because you had seen a physical therapist
before,
of
like,
your...
Yeah. Like I have a guy. I called and I ended up with some other guy who wasn't really as helpful, but I saw him and he automatically thought, this is classic L4, L5. You must just have like a nerve that's bugging you and it's causing weakness in the leg. Like, just, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, just keep resting it. And I was like, all right, like, thanks. But it just wasn't getting better. I did end up back at my physical therapist's office, and I did get to see my physical therapist, which was a huge treat because I love him. And he thought, well, why don't we just go ahead and send you to get a lumbar. I went in, did the lumbar epidural. which literally, like, they do an epidural, they stick it in your spine and they inject cortisone directly into that space to help with swelling. And nothing happened. Like, I just didn't notice anything helpful. I didn't really think it was my back. I didn't know what else it could be. And I kept telling him, like, it was my hip. Like, I felt like a pain in my hip. And he was like, well, but your hip seems fine. Like, it was just all confusing. I did go to Paris, which was so fun, but it was such a bummer too, because I had this previously planned Paris trip already to go with my husband for like a work thing. And I was walking really, really slowly. I could maybe walk for 15 minutes at a time. And that was when I was at my best. Sometimes I had to kind of walk like obnoxiously slow for like maybe 5 minutes and had to take a break. I just couldn't do it very much. I never even broke 10,000 steps a day when I was in Paris, which is...
If you know Michelle, she very frequently gets her 10,000 steps a day.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Like, always before this.
Yes.
It wasn't uncommon to hit 20,000 steps in a regular day for me. I like walking. I now claim walking as a hobby. Before I felt stupid saying like my hobby is walking, but now I'm
really
like
is.
it was like I mean it is. It means so much to me to be able to just go on a walk. So it was still a great trip, but I came home feeling really defeated that I wasn't doing better still, and that was in July. So I was a few weeks into this and it started just getting worse and worse. Like the walking was getting slower. I really wasn't able to exercise. I'm struggling to walk up the stairs. I can't stand on my tippy toes. Like my calf was, it was starting to feel scary. And so I went back to the physical therapist. He doesn't really know what's going on, but he gives me more exercises. I'm trying to do anything. Like I am a good patient and I will do anything that my physical therapist tells me to do. So I'm working really hard and had been trying to work toward recovery for a while. Now it's mid-August. And I sat down on my daughter Lucy's bed, and when I sat down on her bed, I felt like a cold sensation spread down my leg, and it felt similar to like if you were to like pour a cold soda over your leg, like ice water, like down your leg. And it was an unsettling feeling. And I couldn't hardly walk up the stairs. Like I was kind of army crawling myself up the stairs to go watch a show with Michael. And after sitting there watching a show with him for a while, I tried to move my leg and I couldn't. Like it was, I couldn't. I had to physically pick up my leg with my hands to move positions. To get downstairs was pretty difficult that night. Like I sat down on, like a kid, like sat down and scooted down the stairs. And I was fully having a panic attack by the time I was downstairs because my leg was paralyzed. And a physical therapist had told me that if I ever did lose movement in my leg, that would be an ER visit. And I thought, oh gosh, it was like midnight. I did not want to go to the ER. I've never been to the ER before. I don't know what that looks like. How do I drive myself? Who's going to take care of the kid? Like, Michael should probably come with me. Like,
it's the middle of the
just
night.
so many things. Yeah. And also, I'm being dramatic is what I'm telling myself.
Of course. Yeah.
Which I couldn't move my leg. Like, why do we do this?
Dramatic.
Why do we do this to ourselves? But I was like, you're being ridiculous. Well, also, I'm really emotional at this point. Like, I'm crying a lot, and I'm like, you're just, like, calm down. You're fine.
Well, the thing about you, both of us...
This is good to note, is...
We are overthinkers in a lot of things. And
is it going to bug you if I stand up?
No.
I just feel like I need to move a little.
If there's anything, we kind of...
Go worst case scenario
automatically. And so it's like we're constantly having to tell ourselves that
this is normal.
Like,
this
why
is
are you being so
fine.
dramatic?
Yeah, it's just a headache. It's not a tumor.
Yeah,
you know?
like all the things. And so it's like when something like this is happening, we're very used to, like, I say we, but like for you.
A little bit of a hypochondriac, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, how do you trust yourself when you can't even trust, like, why does my toe hurt so bad?
Yeah.
Like, clearly
something is wrong. So I really didn't want to go to the ER. And I told myself, if you can move your leg at all, you don't have to go to the ER. And it probably took a good 5 minutes of like a lot of focus and really trying to calm myself down to be able to move my leg. I just like inched it, maybe like half an inch. And I was like, oh, okay. It moved. It didn't feel good. Like it didn't feel like I should, but I'm not paralyzed. Probably you just need to go to sleep. Like just go to sleep. We'll see what it feels like tomorrow. And I was able to move it the next day. I was able to walk, but not much. I called my physical therapist, but I can barely make it from my bed to the bathroom right now. I can't get in the car. And then when I get there, get out of the car and walk in and go up the elevator. And it was too much. So I called and got an appointment for the following week and figured like, okay, that's 4 days away. I'll be good enough by then. 4 days away, I was barely, ugh. So I make it in. I tell Tyler, I'm sobbing on his table, telling him what is going on. And he was like, I think you might need surgery, which was the scariest thing he could have said to me at the moment. Like that sounded terrifying. He thought that I needed back surgery. And I was like, no, I'm not doing back surgery. Absolutely not. That's crazy. And he was like, I'm not saying a scary back surgery. This isn't something where you're getting a spine fused. Like I think you may just need to get pressure off of the nerve. And I kept telling people it's not my back. I don't know what it is, but I know what it feels like when my back is an issue and this is not it. And he sent me to a orthopedic surgeon for my back anyway, because he was at a loss and he was scared. Like a paralyzed leg is not something he wants to mess around with. And he was like, this is serious and we need to protect your nerve. So he said, I want you to see, are you okay? You look sad.
Oh no, yeah, I'm
okay.
Good. I just felt I'm like looking up.
Okay.
I just feel like with the lights. So I'm just
I was like, is this bringing back sad things for you too? Because
obviously,
Mandy was on polo with me day in and day out, listening to me on a loop, crying.
Yes, there's probably a little bit of sad. Like there's a little bit of like, oh, like I'm.
Also, it's late. I'm like, are we good? Should we pause and like go to bed? So late. Anyway, so he sent me to a surgeon, but in the meantime, he wanted me on bed rest. And he was so concerned about my nerve that he was like, do not move. Like, I want you to lie still as much as possible. Like, I don't do anything. And so I got scared. And also it was kind of a relief that I was like doing what I was supposed to do for the first time in weeks. Like, it was like, okay, like bed rest. I need to protect my body. Great. Like, I'll do that. So emotionally, it was almost a little bit of a relief for a few days because I thought like maybe I started to wrap my head around like maybe I could fix this. Like it's been bad. So if a simple surgery can fix it, maybe that's actually not as bad as I thought it sounded. And I started to wrap my head around that. I had to at that point start asking for help, like meals being brought in. It's been rough. Like Michael works more than full time. He works a lot of hours. And so suddenly he's having to continue to work his job while stepping into my role and becoming a caregiver. Like he's bringing me everything I need, including just water and sometimes helping me to the bathroom and helping me in the shower. And I mean, everything I needed, he had to just help me. And we go see the orthopedic surgeon. I saw his PA. She was so perplexed looking at everything that she got him and brought him in. They're both confused and decide to send me in for an MRI. After doing that, I went back like a week later in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair at this point. Not my own. Michael had to drive me places. He had to drive me to my imaging, and he had to just use like whatever facilities wheelchair, go grab it, come get me, bring me to the appointments. And he's like, how long have we been in a wheelchair for? And I'm like, oh, I don't have a wheelchair. I'm not in a wheelchair. Like I'm still like in denial. I can't move at all. I'm like, I'm not in a wheelchair. Like I'm not. He looks at my imaging and it's fine. So I'm hysterical again. Like now I'm really upset
Like you
because
obviously don't want
I
something to
didn't
be
want
wrong,
surgery, but at my last appointment, yeah, he had said, I have had people with what I think this is, and it's an in and out, like you're awake. I do a little incision, I shave a little bit off of the whatever by the nerve, and people jump off of my table and they're fine. And I was like, okay, fine.
great,
Like,
yeah.
let's just freaking do it then. So I was hoping that that's what would happen. And now that everything is what I thought, like my back is actually fine, like I thought, it was bad news again, because now what?
Yep.
And it's funny, he was really nice, but he didn't know where to send me next. Like he was just like, good luck, bye. Like,
Oh, well, we've done our part, I guess.
yes. So it's in the same facility as my physical therapist. And I just Michael wheeled me over there, and I sobbed to him and told him what happened. And he was like, I don't know what to do either. And so I'm starting to go, I think it was Michael actually that brought up, like, maybe you should see a neurologist. Yeah. And I was, I had like an aversion to that word. Like, I'm like, no, it's not neurological. Like, I'm not, nope, absolutely not. It's just, it's musculoskeletal. Like, I can't, it's not, I can't. And so there was a lot of resistance to that. It was hard for me to agree to see a neurologist because I just didn't want to believe that that could potentially be an issue. But also at the appointment with the orthopedic surgeon, he was like, you need a wheelchair. And Michael bought a wheelchair on Amazon
That
like
day?
while we were sitting in the office. Yeah, I think we were waiting for him to kind of like talk to a colleague or something.
Walker?
Oh yeah, Michael bought a walker, which I told him not to, and then it like saved me a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he bought a wheelchair there, and I was really emotional about that. Like that just felt like what is happening? I don't understand.
Why are we buying wheelchairs?
Yes,
like
this
what
is
the heck?
crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's such a waste of money. Anyway. So I have the wheelchair. I finally agreed to call the neurologist, and people are kind of starting to throw around MS. And I did not like hearing that at all.
No.
Like I was mad when people brought it up, like really mad. It felt cruel almost.
People were just throwing it out like it
That's
was
the
nothing.
part that was hard. It was like, so are you thinking it's MS? And I'm like, do you want to get punched in the face?
Yeah,
Like, no, I don't.
Drop kick you across this room. If I could. That was a poor choice of words.
Wait,
So drop kick you. Okay.
if I could, if only I could. I said a poor choice of words. But I saw a neurologist who I love. He's so great. And I already had a connection with him because I had dealt with migraines for like a solid year, a year before that. Like, and it was so brutal. And so I'd already had a brain MRI, which, so that was another thing is I'm like, no, I've had a brain MRI before. Like if I had a MS, it would have been caught. And they did check my entire spine. Okay. Maybe now is a good time actually to just say my mental state was bad. I do have a little bit of a history with mental health issues postpartum. And it was feeling reminiscent of that time as far as just how my brain felt and how my emotions felt. So I do have a therapist that I see regularly already. So I'm obviously updating her along the way. And at one point I did say, like, I think I need to get on an antidepressant. I can manage my mental health really well with exercise. And when that went away, I was just kind of like kicking it down the road. Like, no, I'm going to be exercising soon. So like, I don't need to, but I had kind of always said I either need to be on an antidepressant or be exercising regularly. And it just took me a while to accept, like, you're not exercising regularly and it's not coming back right away. So I guess maybe we need to get into it. So I can't remember exactly when I started seeing my psychiatrist, who I also love, but somewhere around here. Okay, but when I saw my neurologist, I explained to him everything that's been going on, and I tell him, I'm scared it's MS. He's thinking it's not MS. I really don't think this is MS. I feel like this is something else that can be similar because clearly your leg isn't activating the way that it's supposed to. There's a nerve that's not, the nerves aren't connecting. It's not firing the way that it's supposed to. But there's something that can happen where it will kind of get dug deep down into the brain and something will get lodged sort of in the brain that's not physical. It's, he described it as a software problem rather than a hardware problem, is what he thought it was. And he was curious if there had been anything traumatizing that had been happening recently, which there hadn't been. I couldn't pinpoint any of it. But he explained that sometimes when people deal with what he thinks I'm dealing with, that it can be pinpointed to something traumatizing. But there really wasn't anything. He did ask if I had PTSD ever, if I'd ever been diagnosed with, which I had been, but that was 9 years prior. And I told him that that was like not a thing anymore. Like I had been through therapy. I've gotten over that. But he didn't seem surprised that I had been diagnosed with PTSD before. Anyway, so we'll just jump to, he wanted to do a brain MRI to rule out MS. He was really encouraging that he did not think it was MS, but whatever this other thing was that he was mentioning sounded more like, what? Like even him explaining it, it didn't totally feel like it made sense. Like I still don't know how to explain it to people. And so it was just kind of like, well, what if it is MS? So I just had to deal with another couple of weeks of like incredible fear that I had something that was going to be debilitating for the rest of my life. Like I was truly terrified that this was my new normal and that all of the things that made me me, or not all the things that made me me, because obviously like I still had worth without, yes. But it didn't feel like it.
The things that felt like big parts of you every day. Yeah.
And it wasn't like, I can't go on a walk anymore. I can't exercise anymore. Am I ever going to be able to travel again? Will I be able to drive myself places again? Like just anything. Will I ever be able to be left alone with my girls again for an overnighter if Michael has to go work? Or am I always going to need them to have a caregiver even when I'm here because I'm incapable of caregiving now? Like it was terrifying. And I had my brain MRI, and there was a period of time that this is like one of the best moments of my life, actually. So I guess there was a period of time that I could know what the results were before my appointment, you know, like on the app, like you can get the results. And if I had MS, the neurologist had explained to me that there would be like a white dot on the imaging, and it would show, because there'd be like a lesion or something on the brain. Like there's like a physical spot on the brain when somebody has MS, or that would indicate MS. So I had my imaging, and I still had, I think, a couple of days before I had my appointment, and I didn't want to look at it because I just couldn't handle finding out I had MS not at the doctor's office. I wanted, if that was the case,
you had a lot of questions.
I needed some hand holding.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. But once we had it, Michael really wanted to know. So he was like, maybe I'll just look and not tell you. And I'm like, there's no way. You wouldn't be able to keep that a secret from me. And he was like, no, I think I can. I don't think I can wait anymore. Like Michael was being put through hell worrying about me. And he was like, I think I need to look. I signed off, which I immediately regretted because I'm like, there's no way. Like
you're about to find out.
I am going to find out. Yeah. I was like in another room. He had my phone and I was crying in my closet going like, okay, I'm going to walk out and I'm going to see the look on his face and I'm going to know. Like he's not keeping it from me. And I walked out and I saw the look on his face and I thought I had MS for a hot minute because he was avoiding eye contact. He was, like I couldn't read his face. And so I'm like, oh no. And so I was like tearing up, like feeling all of the feelings of like, my life is about to change forever. And he like looked over at me and he was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And he was like, you don't have MS. And he just started crying.
Yeah.
So we were just like,
both just
oh my
crying.
gosh, like in each other's arms, like sobbing. And I'm like, really? It's fine. And he's just like, yes, it's
like makes you
oh, it was,
know.
one of the best moments of my life. Like it really was. It was the best moment ever to just be like, okay. And even after that, I was still like, I needed to see the doctor for him to tell me you don't have MS. And it was so nice to have that appointment. So, he confirmed that I have what I thought, or what he thought, and it's called functional neurological disorder. It can present in so many different ways. If you look it up, it's very scary. And if you know me personally, like, don't talk to me about it.
Yeah. Just don't look it up. Don't talk about it. Don't look it up. Don't.
You can look it up, but I couldn't research it. He first recommended like a book. Like there was this book called like Overcoming Functional Neurological Disorder. Well, he didn't first recommend it. I asked 10,000 questions about recovery. Like I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, tell me, give me the list, give me all the steps. And he was kind of like, you just kind of need to wait. We need to treat the symptoms. Like, don't go home and try to think your way out of it. You need to let your brain heal. We don't know why it happened. I don't know how long it will take, but we know that it's temporary. This is a good prognosis. And I just was so motivated to do whatever it took to get better. And so when I asked him so many questions, he was like, well, you could read this book called, would you want to read about it? It's called Overcoming Functional Neurological Disorder. And I was so jazzed. I was going to like listen to it on Audible. No, it's like a workbook, which I am not like a college student.
School, Michelle.
It really was like a workbook. And just reading about it online, I couldn't because there is such a wide range of problems that somebody can have with this, including seizures. People can have like epileptic style of seizures with functional neurological disorder, a functional neurological disorder without having epilepsy. And just reading the list of things that could happen, it was too scary for me because I was scared that it was going to get worse. And I didn't trust my brain at this point.
Of course.
That's the part that was so hard, is there was something going on with my brain that I did not have control over, that apparently wasn't like a physical lesion and apparently isn't psychological either.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah.
So my brain is attacking me? Like, what's going on? And why did it happen? And there's just no good answers ever. And I was afraid that if I learned what could happen, that it would happen. Like if my brain can think it, apparently it's powerful enough to make it happen.
Which made total sense to me because I was like, I feel the same way.
Yeah. There was one symptom that I read that like I've never repeated it back out loud to somebody because it was so like I can't let my brain think that that's an option. Like it's just, it's so gross. So things got way worse before they got better, unfortunately. My mental health continued to decline, even though we had a diagnosis and it was apparently a good prognosis and apparently it was temporary. I guess it's worth saying I was having panic attacks at night because, I mean, it doesn't take a psychiatrist or a therapist to figure that one out. Like I went to bed one night and then woke up and I couldn't walk. Like it happened literally in my sleep. There was nothing, there was no moment of like, if only I wouldn't have fallen down. Like, I
Yeah.
just was sleeping. And so it was too scary to even sleep because I didn't know what was going to happen in my sleep. And it was probably around now that the pain started to come. Like, it wasn't painful for a long time. And I was telling all my friends, like, thank goodness it's not painful because I don't handle pain well. But it started to deal, like what you would expect with a neurological issue, like burning sensations, cold sensations, tingly sensations, numbness. But the burning was definitely the worst. Well, and really achy. Like, it would get achy. I would get swollen, not super swollen, but some swelling. Weakness was obviously the primary issue, but the burning became worse and worse and worse. And it happened mostly when I was trying to sleep, which kept messing with my head because I'm like, well, I guess it is psychological because I'm going to bed and now my leg is burning. And it wasn't when I was just, earlier. It was so upsetting. So panic attacks almost every night, usually in the middle of the night. It's just that I would go in circles
Of course.
of like wishing I could like go back to that night and like, I don't know, not go to sleep. Like, I don't even know what I would have done, but I just wish I could have changed it. And even though I was being told it was temporary, there was a piece of me that didn't believe it, or just maybe a piece of me that was scared that he was wrong. And
Well, it didn't help that he tried to give you a timeline, and it was like
a lot longer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He did think that I had already had the worst of it. He thought that the moment that I was like paralyzed was the worst of it. And that typically when he saw patients that dealt with this, they would hit a rock bottom and then they would slowly climb their way up. So he had kind of told me, like, I think you're going to have good days and bad, but I think you're on the climb out and you're going to fully recover. He didn't give a timeline, but he did think I had already seen the worst of it.
And like, okay, what you've already done, you should be able to like undo all that now.
And so when it kept getting worse and worse, it was just hard to worry about, like, am I ever going to be okay again? And there's very low quality of life, I guess is a good way of putting it. I spent all day, every day in bed. I did eventually start getting in the hot tub every day because I couldn't handle. It was painful, actually. Like, your body aches when you just sit all day long.
It does.
When you have like a cold, like a bad one, and you're stuck in bed for 3 days, all of your joints like hurt. Like, your body is meant to move. And I just couldn't do anything. And it was awful. So I did eventually get to a point where Michael would carry me out to the hot tub every day and get me in. And I would sit out there for like 8 hours sometimes. I would just like listen to Mandy on Marco Polo or like talk to my sister on the phone or like I would always try to like call somebody or listen to music and just be outside in the sunshine. And Michael would bring me like lunch outside. I'd just like, which sounds nice, just like sit poolside and eat lunch, but it was lonely. And also Michael didn't have as much time to spend time with me because he was running
really
my kids back and forth to all the places, and he's trying to keep up all of his work schedule, and he's making my meals. And we started outsourcing things, like I was doing grocery delivery, and we started doing like factor meals so that we were eating that for lunch. And so he didn't have to make every meal that I was eating, but he had to bring me every meal that I was eating. And the wheelchair did, I guess, help a little bit, but even just like, oh man, the respect I have for people in wheelchairs now.
Seriously.
The logistics of pouring myself a bowl of cereal and then like wheeling myself to a different area of the house where I could eat it with like a sloshy bowl of cereal on my lap. Like, I don't, what?
Yeah.
And this, obviously, like people that are in wheelchairs all the time, they would adjust their lives slowly, but like, how do I get the milk? It's too hot. Oh, it was just, every little thing was just so hard. Changing my pants was hard. Like, it was.
Gosh, yeah.
So, it's all such a blur.
Yeah.
Like, I was just in such a survival mode that hard to, like, it wasn't me. It doesn't even feel like it was me. And it was just a few months ago. Okay, during this phase of time, there was like a lot of other health stuff that was going on that kind of piggybacked on all of it. I started dealing with high blood pressure, which I have never had before.
I forgot about that.
I have almost like on more the low side, like most people that take my blood pressure, like, oh, that's the best one I've seen today. Like I have good blood pressure. And it was getting alarmingly high. And my psychiatrist was trying to prescribe me something for the panic attacks and nightmares and like the sleep issues. And he had put me on something that I had an adverse effect with first. It was called Prazosin. It's typically prescribed to people with PTSD. But when I took it, my heart was pounding out of my chest all night long and I was like sweaty and it was awful. So they switched me to another one. So it kind of gave me insomnia. Like the sleep was even worse. I started dealing with like these heart palpitations. Like my heart was like, I just was having weird heart stuff like that felt strange. And I surprisingly wasn't like super concerned that like I was going to have a heart attack. But because I was checking in with so many different physicians, it was getting brought up and the high blood pressure was becoming like increasingly more concerning.
Yeah, like you had multiple doctor's appointments. Or just say like, I feel like you were at a different doctor every single day. Like
it was
whether
insane.
it was.
I mean, sometimes it was like I had therapy.
Yeah, I was gonna say whether it was counseling or whether it was an actual doctor appointment. Like, but there was some sort of.
I was just like an elderly person that's about to die. Basically, is what it felt like. That like is seeing someone all the time. All it was doctor's appointments and whatever, multiple tests and procedures. But I also was having an issue with my knee. I couldn't, same leg, so it was my left leg. And my left knee, it started getting swollen. It was really painful, but different pain. Like I felt like it was different than the neurological disorder. And I, couldn't straighten my leg all the way, and that continued to get worse and worse. Like the range of motion was getting increasingly worse. So if I was standing up to just like brush my teeth or something, I couldn't straighten my leg all the way. It was so painful. And I did eventually see the orthopedic surgeon for my hip and knee, which my knee wasn't an issue at all before this, but now all of a sudden it is.
Yeah.
So he checked both my hip and the knee. The hip, even though that was like where the first pain was, there wasn't much that was super concerning. There was like inflammation that he said would be leading to some pain, but nothing like worrisome. But my knee, I had torn cartilage in my patella, and that was because the muscles that just normally engage, even like in our sleep, were not engaging. And so just over time, my knee wasn't protected properly, and the cartilage just began to tear and tear. So that's why I was dealing with the swelling and couldn't straighten my knee. They did do a hyaluronic acid injection. It was shocking how quickly it worked. As far as I was able to straighten my knee within 24 hours, which was a miracle.
Like finally something that's like
I know.
Quick
and it had been
fix.
It had been like 2 months since I had straightened my leg all the way. But because of the heart stuff, my psychiatrist ended up sending me in to get an EKG done, and it came back with some type of abnormality on it. And we ended up switching like medications up because of these now heart issues and like, do I need heart medication? So then I get sent to a cardiologist, and I did another test. I don't even remember what it was. She had to put really sticky things on my body that when she ripped them off, it ripped off my skin. I had like,
Wait, you did?
Yeah, I had circles right here on my skin for like 3 weeks.
Was it just an EKG?
No, it was, I don't know what it's called. It was similar to like getting an MRI. You would think I would remember, but I don't, because I had 6 MRIs in this period of time.
I actually don't think you would remember. Like, what test was that? What thing was that?
Don't remember Oh my gosh. But it came back with like something that was like maybe a little maybe it is a problem, maybe it's not. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think that test was the one that ruled out that there had been damage done. But the cardiologist was great, actually. When I saw her, and I had to, every time I had to see a medical doctor, I'd have to say, do you know what functional neurological disorder is? And without a doubt, they would say, no, I don't know what that is, because it's just not very well known. And I would try to explain what it is, even though I don't know how to explain what it is, because it sounds fake. And anyway, she had me come back to check to let me know if there was like damage done or not. And she had done research on functional neurological disorder in that period of time. And she was so nice. Gosh, she told me that my high blood pressure could be because of my functional neurological disorder, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't researching. Yeah. I had no idea. So she was like, I think this is circumstantial. Like, I think that once you do better, like this is going to go away. And she gave me the advice to stay off the internet. So sweet. I know. And she was like, I see a lot of people come through here with like weird medical things that nobody knows what to do and there's no cure. And the biggest thing that I see is that attitude is like the number one healer. If you just just keep your chin up and stay off the internet and you've got this. And there were little moments like that a lot that were really helpful. I had such a great medical team. Every single one of them. Person. I have 2 therapists, my psychiatrist, the neurologist, 2 different physical therapists. Like I've liked everyone I have worked with.
I have been so impressed. Like
they've been incredible.
They are truly like fighting with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great. And okay, gosh, to jump back into like the super sad stuff. The pain in my leg, I know I brought the pain in my leg so long ago, but the pain in my leg kept getting so bad that it really was getting so difficult to sleep. And I reached a point that I was awake all night long, every night for like 4 nights in a row. No position could I be in, nothing. There was nothing that took this pain away. And the pain was equivalent to, like when I say burning, it really felt like I had been burned. And so sleeping was just like, how do you fall asleep when your entire leg is like burning? It was so painful. And on my like 4th night of no sleep, another sweet Michael story, I did end up waking him up. He spent over an hour, not over exaggerating, propping pillows and like, let's try this and let's try this. And what if we try? And he was jumping through all of the hoops, like contorting my body in crazy ways to try to alleviate the pain from my leg. And eventually he did get me like set up on my side with like 10 pillows propped in all the places. And he rubbed my leg. He actively like rubbed it and repeated to me that like I was safe and that he had me and that he would stay there and take care of my body while I slept. So that
like I'm literally about to start crying.
No, I know. And he
just like in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And he was doing it not resenting you at all. Like pure love.
Yeah. And by some miracle, I fell asleep. Like it was such a miracle. I fell asleep, slept for like 3 hours. And woke up in the same like burning pain again. And I just started sobbing again and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I actually don't know what to do. Do I need to go to the ER and be put on some type of medication that will put me to sleep?
Like, put me out for a couple of days, please.
Yes. Like, I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I called the psychiatrist, and I'm feeling silly calling the psychiatrist because I'm like, what are they going to do? But I talked to the on-call psychiatrist, and she listened to all of it and told me about this drug called gabapentin that helps with people that have neurological issues like neuropathy, which I'm familiar with because I have family members with neuropathy. which I'm also scared of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So, because I see how it's awful. It's awful. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And anyway.
Which
so
in the beginning, this was a major
I was scared that
too.
this was neuropathy. Yeah. Anyway. So she put me on like a very low dose and told me that should hopefully help with the pain in my leg. She told me I could toy around with it, like take up to 6 pills, whatever the number was. I took one. I'm very afraid of medications, by the way, at this point. Like I've had negative reactions to 3 different medications at this point. Like it's been.
Michelle has every side effect to every medication known to man. It will happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I took it one, waited an hour, don't feel like the pain is getting better, took another. Finally, by the time I took the third one, pain level went down to like a 4. And I was just like thanking the high heavens because it was such a relief and I was still in pain. But it was so nice to have a glimmer of a break. Like I could watch a show and the pain wasn't so bad that I couldn't focus on a show. And that was a miracle in and of itself. And that was a life-changing drug. I'm still on it. And I could not be any more grateful for it. I feel like it saved my life in a way.
I feel like it started changing the trajectory.
Really fast. Yeah, because I feel like once I wasn't in pain 24/7 all the time, and now my knee, I can straighten my knee now. And, but when it really started to change was I had seen my psychiatrist again for maybe the 3rd month in a row. We always have maybe 4. Who knows at this? I don't know. Who knows what day it is?
How is it? What day is it? What year? I don't know.
But when you see a psychiatrist, there's a few things that they're documenting. You have to fill out, I can't remember what the paperwork is called, but you have to fill out this paperwork every appointment that says, it's like if you're a woman and you've had a baby, you filled it out when you go back for your like 6-week postpartum appointment where it's like
basically
in the past 2 weeks, how often do you cry? Like that kind of thing. And I was scoring pretty high on these at this point. And so my psychiatrist, again, who I love, he explains to me that part of his job is to tell people what they already know. And he like gave me a heads up that he was going to do that. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Like I'm in a good mood. Fine. And he just got really serious and made intense eye contact. And he said, you're losing yourself, Michelle. And just nothing has felt more sad and more true to me because I didn't know. I mean, I've already said I didn't feel like I had any worth. I didn't feel like I had anything really to live for other than just to like chit chat with people, I guess. And I know that I'm decent at it, but like,
let's say so.
But yeah. And so he said, and you already know that, but it's time that we find ourselves again. And I was like, I don't know how. And he was like, okay, we need to find things that we enjoy. Like, what do you like? And I'm like, I like going on walks.
Yeah.
And I can't. Like, I can't do anything. And he was like, yes, you can. You can do something. And I was kind of annoyed, like, because I'm like, no, I can't. Like, you don't understand. Michael has to help me in the shower. He has to carry me out to the hot tub. Like, he has to drive me everywhere. Like, what are you talking about? No, I can't. But he was like, there are people in wheelchairs that are buff. They're ripped out of their minds. They're playing basketball. Like, you need to look up YouTube videos of people in wheelchairs and look up what they do for exercise. Like, do something. It's time. And I was just like...
Which at this point, you've been like, no way am I accepting that I'm in a wheelchair.
I can't. Yeah. Well, and he also said, I know you and you are an all or nothing person.
I was about to say this.
Like, you would do anything. But if I tell you to look up what you can do in a wheelchair and do that, you're not going to do it because it's beneath you. But it's not. It's time. And you've got to do it. So we set some goals. And he also wanted a different goal of something that could be creative, like a hobby. And I was like, wow, I mean, my sister-in-law sent me like some paint this week. Like maybe I could paint. And he's like, do you like painting? I was like, I used to, like, I don't know. And he was like, great. Okay. 2 days a week, you're going to paint. You are going to exercise. I don't know what that looks like for you, but figure it out. It's time. So I was kind of excited once I wrapped my head around it. I told Michael, he's like, I'll do it with you. I need to exercise. Great. We're on board. We had figured out what we were going to do, when we were going to start the next day. I put on my exercise outfit that was my favorite one, that I thought I looked the best in. It was the one that I used to throw on before Orange Theory and look at myself in the mirror and feel strong and confident and beautiful and run out the door to my favorite place and enjoy myself. So I thought it would help. Like, I thought it would be like, yeah, I'm going to put on my favorite outfit. And I put it on and I stood up out of the wheelchair and positioned myself in front of the mirror so that I could look at myself. Oh, I love that I'm not going to cry right now. It's nice. Like, it's nice that I'm telling this story and I feel like I can just say it. Like, it's not tearing at my heartstrings the way that it used to. But I looked at myself in the mirror, and to anyone else, I didn't look different. But to me, I did not recognize the person that was looking back in the mirror. And to be clear, I'm not talking about weight. I just mean this like invisible scarring that no one else can see, but I don't recognize myself anymore.
Yeah.
And it was so sad. And I just sobbed and sobbed. And I went into the living room in my wheelchair and I picked up my 10-pound weights, and Michael put on like music that I loved. And I just cried. Okay, I guess I'm feeling a little like...
You're feeling the emotions.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to even start. Like, I really didn't.
Yeah.
And Michael was like trying to give me like, here, I'm going to hold one side, like just stupid stuff. Like, I'm going to hold one side of this resistance band and you hold the other. And I'm going to move my arms and it's going to engage your core. Like, just like dumb things.
But just something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we're just the act of like doing it. And I just felt like it was the start of something sad. That's what it felt like. I guess I had envisioned that I would get better and that I would get to go back to Orange Theory. Like, I don't know why I thought, like, that sounds crazy now, that I could just...
That there was no in between that.
Yeah. But I just was like, well, I have to get better and then I'll be able to build up my strength and stamina. But it was like, ugh. Anyway, so I sobbed through the first half. But my psychiatrist was right. After I sobbed for the first half an hour, I ended up like on the floor on my back doing like, I don't even remember what, to Pink Pony Club with like a big old smile on my face. And I started to feel like just like a little bit like myself for a minute. And I did look up exercises for people that are in wheelchairs. And that was a rude awakening as well, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know what it's like, apparently, like to be disabled. I may like be eligible for a handicap pass, but like it could be so much worse. And so then it became like, okay, well, I can do even more than people in wheelchairs. So I just started doing upper body workouts and I really became diligent at it. I think it had less to do with the exercise and more to do with just like giving myself something to do. Yeah. And I did paint. I did these dumb little paintings.
They're not dumb. They're so cute.
They're so nice. I love them. Of places that I love and want to, like moments that I loved in my life. And it was all like scenery moments of beautiful places that I've been, because that's my favorite thing to do, is just to be in beautiful places. So I kind of started to fall in love with it, and I would listen to music and paint, and I don't know, things just started to slowly feel better emotionally. And the gabapentin had improved the pain. And then I had like a check-in with my neurologist, and he was kind of bummed that I wasn't progressing more than I had. And so I'm like, what else can I do? And that's when he recommended ketamine. So for those who don't know, ketamine creates neuroplasticity, which we don't have as adults. And so it's really kind of incredible that you can have neuroplasticity in the brain, and it can help create new neural pathways and kind of reset the brain. And so I use that language because that's what
they told you.
That's what they told me when I went to ketamine. So I had ketamine with IV infusions. I did it twice a week. It was intensive for my mental health, but it was also helping the pain in my leg even more than the gabapentin, like kind of in combination. Like I started being able to sleep better. I was starting to get better with like panic, like the panic attacks were starting to go away. I was starting to rewrite the way that I think about things. And it was really helpful for sleep because I, prior to ketamine, had my belief system was that my brain attacked me in my sleep and I was mad at it. And during ketamine, I was kind of able to sort of rewrite it as I have a really strong, cool brain that's capable of so much. And it's trying to fight to protect me, and it's overcorrected, and it needs to know that like it's okay to relax. And I started to feel like me and my brain were partners that could work together, and I wasn't mad at it anymore. I kind of felt sorry for it. Like I was able to have compassion for my brain, which I know sounds weird, but
no, I feel like
to you it doesn't, because
also because in my therapy. Yeah, same idea. Like, oh, it was trying so hard. It was like,
yeah,
almost. I think of anxiety in Inside Out #2. Like it's fighting so hard, but it's doing too much.
Yes,
like it's, but yeah,
yes, and you know that like it's helpful to label parts of yourself.
Yes.
So if I looked at my brain as like a separate part of myself, I started to feel like my brain and I could work together instead of work against each other. And I just started to trust it more. And so that made sleep easier, and which obviously made recovery better. So, you know, everything just kind of started sliding into place once sleep got better and once my mood was better and the pain was going away, and slowly I was moving out of the wheelchair and I started being able to walk into appointments by myself, and Michael didn't have to drive me anymore. And eventually I like made a meal, which was crazy. You remember being on Polo with me when that was happening. And it was so exciting.
It was so exciting. Yeah.
And I don't know, it was true, like what the neurologist told me. It was just up and down. Thanksgiving was like a pivotal time. I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm walking a lot more. Like I'm up on my feet a lot. I'm not in the wheelchair as much. So that was kind of when things started getting a lot better. So I didn't really use the wheelchair like at all in December. I still can't always walk as fast as I want to. I have ran a couple times, but that has made things worse. And so I started aqua therapy, which has been incredible. I started a restorative ballet class that I'm taking with a bunch of like 60, 70-year-old ladies.
Which I went to,
it was so
fun. And
yes, it's been so good. It's been so good. So I feel, even though I can't do the things that I used to when, I'm back at Orange Theory, kind of. Oh, yeah. Well, not kind of. I'm back at Orange Theory.
You're there.
It doesn't look the way that it used to. But I feel really proud of myself.
Yes.
And I actually do feel stronger. Like it's that stupid cliche thing where you're like, I'm grateful it happened because like, I don't know if I can say I'm grateful it happened,
well,
but
obviously you'd probably still prefer that it didn't.
But I like who I am more after going through it.
And it's given you a lot of compassion and things that you're a very compassionate person.
But something that like we can always become more aware of more people. And
I will say too, like for the listener, through this story, Michelle has made it sound like she wasn't fighting a lot in the beginning until her psychiatrist told her to.
Yeah.
Which is opposite. Like you were fighting the whole time. And
you were so nice. You actually were so great at always reminding me of that. Like Mandy would constantly be like, you feel so strong to me.
Yeah, even
because
during these dark days where you didn't feel strong at all.
Yeah, I would just be sobbing to you and I would feel so weak and so worthless. And you were like, you're crazy strong. Like, you are fighting so hard. Like, you haven't stopped. You're at a doctor's appointment every day and you're doing all the tests and all the procedures and like still trying to figure out what's going on and trying to find answers. And I couldn't see the strength until later. But I also, though I was in therapy before, I am much more therapized now. And I really am happy with how I can manage and regulate myself better now than I could before. Like, I already can tell I'm in a way better mental state than I was before, even though I thought I was at my peak mental state. But now I'm even better. Like, I really do like...
Yeah, I've been, like, impressed with some of the things that you say during tough situations. Like, you're just able to look at it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And like...
Thank you. I don't, not to be, like, self-indulgent, but, like, is there an example? Like, what do you mean when you say that?
So, even, like, going back to, we are worst case scenario 100% of the times. Like, watching you say, sometimes our bodies do weird things.
Yeah.
And that is, like, so... And, I mean, I know you'd kind of tell yourself that sometimes as a way to, like...
Yeah, but it became, like, a belief system.
It did.
Instead of...
I kind of saw it change from you just telling yourself that to, like, try and not spiral to it becoming, like, something you were believing.
Yes.
You know? And, like, that was just, like, I could see that change. And it was almost like... This is like a different Michelle because like we don't say that sometimes the body just does weird things.
Yeah.
We say
when I would feel, I mean, still when I feel symptoms in my leg, my immediate thought now is like, sometimes my body feels like that and that's okay.
And I have found myself telling myself that.
Yeah, actually. It's helpful.
It is. I'll be like, and I like afterwards I'm like, I just channeled my inner Michelle. Like I'll have some weird pain that I'll want to run to my nurse husband and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
And like I had this weird pain like in my like chest right here the other day. And I was
obviously like, instead of like you jump to breast cancer because that's what we do.
Exactly. Like checking all around.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, sometimes our bodies just do weird things and that's okay. And I like...
And then you forgot about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even like if I felt it later that day, which I still did, I still just told myself that. So like,
but then like a few days later, you forgot about it.
All of a sudden, it's gone.
Yeah, it's not a big deal anymore. Like, yeah.
But like you're teaching me too through
it is life changing to be able to like rewrite some of the belief systems that you have that are so like dragging me down.
Yeah.
So
and even too, when like
grateful.
Michael was going through like his heart stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if pre this you would have spiraled. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But like you were, like I was just kind of like, you're not like freaking out through this. Like you've been very calm through this.
Yes. I really was.
Whereas, like, we don't talk about things with Michael. Like, we do not address...
No, worst fear is losing Michael. And so, for the listener, Michael, he's fine. He had heart palpitations, but they're not dangerous. So, we're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But
it is. It's just, like, noticing little things like that. That's, like, okay. Like, they're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, anyway, I'm not all the way better. I would say I'm, like, 80% better.
Yeah.
But I am living a life that I want it to get 100%. But like, if this was my life forever, like I would be okay. And that's nice to say. Not a fun story.
Not a fun story, but still positive takeaways.
You probably hated listening to it. Sorry.
Honestly, it brought me here to see you. So,
yeah, it's true because so Michael's out of the country right now. And we planned it in July.
Yeah.
And as it was approaching and I wasn't doing okay, like he needed to go. So I was like, well, I guess like Mandy can come. Like you could come. We can plan that. And if I need to be taken care of, like you can be here. Hopefully that won't be the case. But
I feel like by the time we booked it, things were starting
But
have started
I
on
would
your
have,
upward.
I thought, like, if it would have been then, you would have still been, like, picking up my kids from school,
Yeah.
probably. Like, those types of things.
Yeah.
And maybe helping me out with, like, tasks around the
Yeah.
house or whatever. But yeah, it's not been that. We've just had, like, very normal days.
Yep. We've gone on walks.
Oh, that makes me want to cry, actually. We went on a walk today.
Your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby twice. We did it twice today.
Yep, we did. Okay.
Well, this has gotten too long. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
It was interesting because, as I already said, this episode was recorded way back in February, and I haven't listened to it for quite some time because of that. And so when I knew that I was going to be releasing this one this week, I went back and re-listened, just re-edit and see, if I need to change anything. And I just found myself like fully in the story again. And I just think that she is just so strong. That would be terrifying to go through what she went through, terrifying, frustrating, all the things. I said I would give you an update, and so that is what I'm going to do now. She is doing really well. I asked her if she had anything she wanted me to say, and she just said, you know what, you can tell them that I, at this point, am like 95% of the way better. She can do everything that she wants to do. She said emotionally, she's doing really well. Of course, like there are moments that she has to relive some of the fears of this happening again, but she has been able to navigate her way through those fears really well and just talk herself through it. And I've been really impressed and really proud of her as she's done that. So I'm so grateful, because even when we recorded this a long time ago, like she wasn't fully out of it. She was doing pretty well. She had said, like, if this is how the rest of my life is, like, I will be okay, and that like this will be a good way for me to live. Like, I'd be happy with this. And it's just so nice to know that like she's improved. She's even gotten better, and she continues to get better and stronger. And yeah, I'm just like really, really, really grateful for that for her. So not a really long update, but still an update. All right, Sipsters, if you would like to come on the podcast and tell me a story, I would love to have you on. So you can find me on Instagram at Sippin' on Stories Podcast. I have a highlight bubble. There's a form you can fill out. Go ahead and do that. Or you can just send me a DM there. Or you can also email me if you don't have Instagram, sippinonstoriespodcast@gmail.com, and I can get back to you there. I'm really just so grateful. I have had just such great conversations that I'm so honored that people are willing to have with me. I cannot stress that enough. And even if the podcast were to end today, next week, next month, I don't know, I would just be so grateful that you guys have all been on this journey with me and are still supporting me. So thank you. I will be here next week for another episode of the Sippin' on Stories podcast by Sipsters.